So I wanted to continue where my last video finished off, which was with me talking about selling a load of my gear. And I have to be honest with you, that is something that has absolutely made me feel liberated over the last couple of days. As soon as I put that video up, it was like a cathartic sort of experience for me, because it's very easy to get sort of wound up in that world of what's next, what's best, what's greatest, what's new, you know, because it's easy to turn your eyes towards the gear and sort of forget about the part that we all came here for, which is the playing. Because let's not forget that it's when you're playing, when you're feeling creative and when you're sort of inspired, that great feeling of enjoying the gear that you've got comes out. When you're able to express yourself and when you sort of get in the zone, sit there for hours, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing around you, you're there playing your guitar, and that's essentially why we do this hobby, at least it is for me. And the realization that actually the constant search for gear is getting in the way is that realization, it seems to me from the comments at least, that we've all have that, and it's going to come round in cycles and we're all going to go through that again. But right now, at this moment in my life anyway, I'm feeling quite inspired by the fact that it looks like, you know, spring's coming here in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, and the weather's changing. Maybe things are gonna change this year and get better. And the fact that I decided I want to make some music, not just I want to play the guitar, not just I want to find the best amp or I want to find the best guitar, best pedal for me. I love all those things, don't get me wrong, and this channel will be 95% about those things, because, you know, that's why I started it. It's like I wanted to delve into and discover all these things and share it with people, and I, you know, being that I'm not a shop or I've got no vested interest, it's just a normal person's view. So I think that can be quite useful for people, and certainly I just enjoy making sort of videos, so that's going to continue. But yesterday, after having that video out and seeing the response, it gave me a real impetus to sit down and actually make some music. So the music you heard at the beginning, it might still be playing behind this, I'm not sure at this moment, was my own music. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video, is finding your voice, finding your rig, could we say, like centering yourself to what you want to create is really important. And I think that's what we're all searching for, even if we sometimes get lost in the process of searching for the rig, the gear. And what I tend to see amongst sort of professional and great musicians out there is that they have a particular sort of center point for the gear that they use. You know, Josh Smith has his Telecaster, JD Simo has his red ES guitar. You know, Jimmy Page had his Les Paul, Hendrix really had his Strat, you know, Clapton, everyone finds this center point, and then any exploration they make around that is really to tweak with that voice that they've already created. And in that way you can find your own voice. Now, I'm definitely guilty of worrying what other people think. I think a lot of us probably are, and that can really change the way that you carry on with your music, with your playing. And for me, it always will. I don't have the confidence, the experience, the chops to just sort of be myself. I think that's a common experience amongst people like me who sort of want to play, want to be really good. The other thing is that trying to fit into certain musical styles like blues or blues rock, whatever it is, you know, sometimes you feel like you do align well with those things and sometimes you don't. And I mean, the piece of music you heard me playing was sort of the influences that have come across my path. Yeah, really what I wanted to say was I've stopped, taken a moment and realized that I want to have my center point, and the rig that you saw me playing today at this moment in time feels very much like me. And it's taken me a year to find my tone, over a year now. It was January 2020 when I picked up the guitar tentatively when I started buying stuff, and then, you know, the lockdowns happened and we all had so much time on our hands to get into these things, which, you know, it's the very smallest silver lining to what happened over the last year. And I've come to the conclusion that, you know, we can all have multiple bits of gear and we can then chop and change every day, but that might not lead us the way we want to go. And once you find the instrument, the amp, and the pedal setup that gives you the real tones that you want to express, it's a good time to stop, slow down, and not dream of gear at that point. Take yourself on a creative journey as opposed to a sort of acquisition journey. Of course, we all want new things. It's new toys, right? It's a fun experience. But there is real great satisfaction to be had in sort of with melding with the right instrument, the right amp, the right pedals. And for me right now, my favorite amp is the Two Rock Bloomfield Drive. It's very hard to pick a favorite guitar, but every time I pick up my red ES-355, this 1966 one, I feel inspired. It's covered in a lifetime of playing. It's absolutely broken to pieces, and the strings come out of the saddles, the wood is sort of getting broken on one side, it's almost splitting, so many dents and dings. And you know what, someone I think once told me, especially when you're buying a vintage guitar, don't buy the one that looks pristine, buy the one that it looks like it's had the hardest life, because someone else obviously found something in that instrument. And I just picked that up and I feel really inspired, more so than any of my other guitars. But I have my core set of guitars that all make me want to play and all make me happy, from my Case Strat, my Case P90 Gold Top, my Gibson R9, my Gibson Black Custom Shop ES-355, my Broadcaster, which is just a wonderful sort of Telecaster guitar to play. You know, I can sort of find my center point on all of those, but right now at this moment, I want to make some music for myself. You know, it doesn't have to be for anyone else, and the red Gibson behind me is the one that's giving me the right feelings. So I promise I'll be back to normal service as of next week. Gear reviews are something I enjoy doing and they're useful, but in my own time I think I'm going to explore within the smaller confines of one rig that I really, really enjoy. And I hope that might have been relatable to some of you. Of course, to some people it's not, and as I said, I'll be back to normal service. But you know, if you want to see more discussions about the creative side of things, or how I go about my process of setting up to record or anything like that, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see. But otherwise, I hope you have a good day, a nice weekend. Don't forget, if you're here for the first time, if you subscribe publicly when I hit 2,500 subs, I'm giving away this fantastic BB preamp. It's a great pedal. It's been around for a long time and there's a reason for that. It's really, really good. So yeah, cheers.